Hello student, I have started explaining chapter number 1 matter in our surrounding from class 9 science, and in this video we are going to study the liquid state. So as we all know, matter is divided into three states: solid, liquid and gases. So solid state already I have completed, and now I'm going to explain the liquid state. So let's start. The liquid state we are going to study with the help of activity 1.10. So the aim of the activity is to study the properties of liquids like shape, volume and flow. So we are going to study these three properties with the help of this activity. So material required for this activity are water, cooking oil, milk, juice, cold drink, measuring cylinder which measures 50 ml. The capacity of the measuring cylinder is 50 ml, and different shaped container. So these are the substances which are in all liquid form, that is water, cooking oil, milk, juice and cold drink, and we are going to use measuring cylinder. The capacity is 50 ml and different shape of containers. Now what is the procedure for this? The first point, take different liquids in separate container. So we are going to use separate container for all. Like one container we are going to take water, then in the second container, we are going to take cooking oil. Then in the third container, we are going to take milk. Like this, we are going to take all the substances in a separate containers. Now the second point, take a measuring cylinder and measure 50 ml of any one liquid, for example, water. So now we are going to use this measuring cylinder, which is 50 ml, and measure any one of the liquid from the above given material. Like you may measure water, you may measure oil, or you may measure milk. For example, consider water. So measure 50 ml of water with the help of this measuring cylinder. So imagine, take this water into this measuring cylinder which is a 50 ml. So there will be some marking on the measuring cylinder like this. So imagine this marking is 50 ml. So till this mark we are going to take water in this measuring cylinder. Now pour this 50 ml liquid into one container and mark the level. Now pour this liquid which is 50 ml water into the another container. Say this is one more beaker. In this beaker, I'm going to pour this water, which is 50 ml, like this, and mark the level. So you have to mark the level. So this is the level. Let me take some different color. So this is the level which I have marked, which shows that this is the 50 ml water. Now next, now pour the same liquid into other container of different shape. Now see here, this is a beaker actually, which is containing a 50 ml water. Take this water, which is 50 ml, and pour into another container which is having different shape. So now I'm going to take this conical flask. So here, this is the mark which shows that it is 50 ml. So now I will pour this water from the beaker to this conical flask. So once I pour, imagine this is the water which is 50 ml. I'll write here, this is what? Conical flask. Now, observe the level and shape of the liquid in each container. Now again we can repeat the activity. Take this water from this conical flask and pour into another flask which has some different shape like round bottom flask. So this is a round bottom flask. So take this water and pour into this round bottom flask. Say here this is the mark which shows it is 50 ml, and this is the water which you have poured. Now observe carefully the shape and the mark in each container. When the water was in measuring cylinder, it has taken the shape of measuring cylinder and it was 50 ml. Now when you pour this water into the beaker, still it is a 50 ml and it has taken the shape of this beaker. See here. Once we pour the water into conical flask, still it is 50 ml and it has taken the shape of the conical flask. When we pour the water into round bottom flask, it has taken the shape of round bottom flask and still it is 50 ml. So this is the observation. Now see the next point. Spill a small quantity of each liquid on the floor carefully and observe. Now what you can do, the next step, you take these liquids and one by one you have to spill it on the floor. So once you spill this water, observe carefully how the water flows. Now spill this cooking oil on the floor and observe the speed of the oil on the floor. Same thing you can repeat with milk, juice, cold drink, etc. Pour the liquid from one container to another container and observe its flow. So you have to repeat this both the procedures like taking 50 ml and transferring from one container to another container, and or spilling of these liquids on the floor. This activity you have to repeat it for all the materials, all the substances. You have to repeat with water, cooking oil, milk, juice and cold drink, and then you have to observe it. Now, what are the observations? So record the observation. First point, when liquids are spilled, they spread on the floor. So whenever you throw liquid on the floor, you have seen the liquid will get spread. It will not remain on one place. For example, if this is the floor here, if this is the floor, and on this floor, if you throw any chalk piece or some wooden block, that chalk piece or the wooden block will remain there itself. It will not flow. But if you spill some quantity of water, milk or oil or juice, once you spill it on the floor, immediately it starts flowing. Immediately it gets spread. That is the observation. Then the next is, you can see here, the volume remains same 50 ml in all the containers. So just now we have saw, first the water was in the measuring cylinder, it was 50 ml. Once we transfer into beaker, still it is 50 ml. We transfer into conical flask, still it is 50 ml. So whenever we transfer this liquid from one container to another container, the quantity, the volume remains same. Then next, the shape of the liquid changes according to the container. Just now we have seen, when the water was in measuring cylinder, it took the shape of this measuring cylinder. See here, it is vertical. When the water we transfer into beaker, it took the shape of the beaker. See, and when the water is transferred into conical flask, it has taken the shape of conical flask. Means what? Water will take, or the liquids will take the shape of the container in which it is filled. So that was the third point. Now the next point, liquids flow easily from one container to another container. Very simple point. So what is there in this? As we have transferred the liquid from one container to another container, when the liquid was there in the measuring cylinder, as I told, it took the shape of measuring cylinder and it was 50 ml. When we transferred this water into the beaker, still it was 50 ml and it took the shape of this beaker, and while transferring this liquid, it will transfer very easily. It will transfer very smoothly. When we transfer this water from beaker to the conical flask, it will take the shape of the conical flask. Quantity remains same 50 ml, and when we transfer this into conical flask, very easily we can transfer it into the conical flask. So this is the observation. I'll repeat it once again. When the liquid are spilled, they spread on the floor. So liquid, whenever you throw on the floor, it will get easily spread. Second observation, the volume remains same. So just now I told 50 ml liquid will remain same in all the containers. Third one, the shape of the liquid changes according to the container. As we transfer the liquid from one container to another container, it will take the shape of the container. And last one, whenever you transfer the liquid from one container to other container, it will transfer very easily. It will flow very easily. So based on this, all the observation, what conclusion we can do? The conclusion is, first point, that is liquids have fixed volume but no fixed shape. So the volume is fixed. See here, 50 ml. In beaker 50 ml, in conical flask 50 ml, in round bottom flask also 50 ml. So they have fixed volume but no fixed shape. First it took the shape of measuring cylinder, then beaker, then conical flask, and from this if we transfer it to some other shape of container, it will take the shape of that container. So it don't have any fixed shape. In case of solids, you have seen, if this is the square shaped solid box, if you keep this solid box on the table, it will have same shape. If you throw this solid box on the floor, still it will have a shape, same shape. Means what? Solid have fixed shape, fixed volume. But in case of liquid, they have fixed volume but no fixed shape. This was the first conclusion. Now the second conclusion is, liquid take the shape of the container. Just now we have seen, when the liquid was in the measuring cylinder, it took the shape of the measuring cylinder. Then it took the shape of the beaker. It took the shape of conical flask. So it is clear that liquid take the shape of the container. Third point is, liquids flow easily. We can easily transfer liquid from one container to another. Therefore, they flow easily. And the fourth point is, when liquid is spilled, liquid spread over the surface. So whenever you throw liquid on the floor, it will easily get spread on the floor, which we cannot see in case of solid. So these are the conclusions. Now, see some extra points. We know that all living organisms need oxygen to survive. So as we all know, all living organisms require oxygen for respiration. They inhale oxygen and they exhale CO2, because this oxygen they require for respiration or burning of food to get energy. And this energy only the animal or living organism is used to do the day-to-day activities or for metabolic activities. Therefore, all living organisms need oxygen to survive. But what about aquatic animal? Aquatic animal like fish, they live in water. So in water, whatever oxygen they get, that oxygen is dissolved in water. Remember, on the land, oxygen is free. But the animals which are there in water, which are called aquatic animals like fish or aquatic plants, from where these will get the oxygen? So these all animals or plant will get the oxygen which is already dissolved in the water. So it is clear that gas is dissolved in liquids. So oxygen gas mixed with the water, that is liquid. This process is called as diffusion. Already we have studied the word diffusion. Once again, we are going to study in this state, that is liquid state. So here what we saw, gases mix in liquid or gases dissolved in liquid, and this process is called as diffusion. The clear definition of this is movement of particles from a region of high concentration to low concentration is called as diffusion. Remember, movement of particles from the region of high concentration to the region of low concentration, and that is only called as diffusion. Now for example, just see here, if this is a pond and if this is water, then water will have very less amount of oxygen, but on the land there will be more amount of oxygen. So this more amount of oxygen will try to move towards the less amount of oxygen. So particles are moving from higher concentration to the lower concentration, and that's why the oxygen will get mixed into the water. So whatever oxygen is mixed or dissolved, that will be used by aquatic animal. Again the concentration decreases, and again oxygen from the environment or the land will get mixed into the water, and this process continues. So there will be some amount of oxygen dissolved in the water always. Not only gases, but solids and liquids can also diffuse into liquids. Liquids diffuse faster than solids. So not only gases, even solid can be diffused into the liquid, or liquid can be diffused into the liquid. And if you compare the rate of diffusion, in case of liquid, the diffusion rate will be faster. I hope you are understanding. The main point I want to explain is diffusion in liquid can be explained with the help of all three substances. Solid can be diffused, liquid can be diffused, even gas. All three state of substances can be diffused into the liquids or mixed into the liquids. But if you see the speed of liquid mixing in the liquid is highest compared to solid and gases. So this was the point which I want to explain it here. So this was whole about the liquid state. So here the conclusion which I have written, the 4 points, these are nothing but the properties of liquid state. So in detail we are going to study once again the properties of solid, liquid and gases together. But now as I am explaining liquid state, in conclusion whatever these 4 points I have written, these are nothing but the properties of liquid state. I hope you will understand the explanation of this state, that is liquid state. If you like my videos, share my videos with your friends, and very important, write these all the notes in your book. These all notes will help you to prepare for your final exam as well as the test which you appear in your school. So if you like my videos, share my videos with your friends, and if you are not yet subscribed my channel, please consider subscribing my channel if you are getting little bit also help from these all the videos. Thank you so much.